Next, we will have the convocation address by Debjani Ghosh. She is a respected and transformative leader in the technology industry who now serves as a distinguished fellow at the NITI Aayog with a charter to set up a pioneering frontier tech think tank dedicated to advancing the country's readiness in these technologies for accelerated economic growth and societal development. With a stellar career spanning over 28 years, including pivotal leadership roles at Intel and as the first female president of NASSCOM, Debjani has been at the forefront of driving India's emergence as a global innovation powerhouse. Her achievements and contributions are immense. They are printed on on the brochure. I will not read them all, but I would just like to mention some of the recognitions that she received. Debjani was honored by the President of India in 2018 as a pioneer among India's first ladies. In 2022, she was featured in Female 10 magazine's 40 over 40 World's Most Inspiring Women list, and Vogue named her Tech Leader of the Year in 2020 for her exemplary leadership in steering the tech sector through the pandemic. Additionally, she was recognized among the 100 most influential in UK-India relations, celebrating women, underscoring her global influence. I now invite Debjani Ghosh to give the convocation address. It's an honor to have you here as a speaker.
Also on our board.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be back here because, as Chairperson Professor Chunchunwala said, my association with this institute goes way back. As you know, NASSCOM was involved right from the beginning in starting the IIITs, and I had the immense pleasure of serving on the board of IIIT Hyderabad for quite a few years. So thank you, Professor Chunchunwala, thank you, Professor Narayanan, for this very kind invite, and my tremendous, it's just so special to be here and celebrate this awesome day with all of you, faculty, students, and of course the parents. So it's wonderful to be here. Okay, first, disclaimer. I always get nervous before speaking, even now. And today, I think it's sort of a 100x higher nervousness because I'm speaking in front of someone I really see as a role model, an ultimate role model, and someone I admire tremendously, Professor Chunchunwala. I hope I can call you a mentor. So any fumbles, you know that's the reason, right? It's amazing just standing here and speaking in front of him. So I was thinking about what do I say to you that's going to be even slightly useful, right? And as I was thinking about that, I was imagining 20-year-old Debjani sitting right there, and when I was sitting right there, filled with dreams, oversized ambition, not a clue what am I getting into, what does the world hold for me, but ready to conquer the world. And at that point, you know, if there was a time machine, if I could sort of go back and talk to her, there are 5 things I would tell her. Based on the journey that I have had, based on everything that I have learned today, there are 5 things I would tell her, not to make the journey easier, because honestly, I have loved the highs and the lows of the journey. Every single low has been the greatest teacher ever. So I wouldn't trade those for anything. I wouldn't trade the failures for anything. But I think there are 5 things I would tell that 20-year-old me to ensure that the journey becomes a little bit more meaningful, and more importantly, I stop being so hard on myself while I go through it. And I think that's what all of you are going to do. So I hope these 5 things stick with you too. First, pause for a minute when you reach those highs or when you reach the lows, to just look around you and realize the power of the ecosystem that's supporting you and experience that power of gratitude. Pause to be grateful. When I was sitting there at my convocation, I don't think I took that minute to really look around me and realize how much people have done, have contributed to get me to that seat, to get me to that degree. You have so many parents here. How many of you, raise hands, how many of you have spent sleepless nights while your kids studied for exams? I know in my case, I slept soundly, but my parents were up. They were waiting, when will the alarm go off? When do I give her Bonvita? Yes, I was born in the Bonvita generation. When do I give her a Bonvita? How do I ensure she's all ready for her exams? Those wordless sacrifices, because they don't tell us what they're sacrificing. Those wordless sacrifices, those invisible trade-offs that they make. I'm sure if you take a minute, it took me a while to realize all of that. In all of us, it takes a while to realize what goes on. Not just your parents, your professors, not just what they teach you, but in my case, they saw something in me that at that point in time, I absolutely hadn't seen. But they saw it, and they made me realize that I can do much more than what I think I am capable of. Your friends, the late night crisis, the shared Maggie bowls and everything, it takes a village to grow a child. And it's true for each one of you. There are so many people that have been responsible for where you have reached today. So take a minute to be grateful. Because that power of gratitude, when we truly, sincerely, from our heart, when we are grateful, I can't tell you what a wonderful feeling it is, because that comes with the feeling that there are so many people, or at least there's one person out there who truly cares for you. Because gratitude stems from that. So, the one thing I have realized is success is definitely a team sport. It takes so many people to make things happen for each one of us. And gratitude is the glue that literally holds us together. So that's my first lesson to 20-year-old me, or that's my first ask. Pause. When you are hitting the highs, when you're hitting the lows, pause to just be grateful, to soak it in, to understand how many people have contributed towards that moment, and be grateful. The second lesson, it is important to have a purpose in life. I know you will say, but I'm just starting off, I'm so young, I don't know, I will find my purpose. It is very important to have a purpose in mind, and think of it as a working draft. It'll keep changing. It's a living document. It'll keep evolving. But that's the most important compass you can have with you. Many, many, many years back, 96, when I just graduated, and I joined Intel, in my interview, my final interview, I was meeting this amazing woman who was head of Asia Pacific at that point in time. And she asked me a question. Everyone asks, where do you see yourself 20 years, right? 15 years, 20 years from now. She asked me the question very differently. She said, Debjani, if you join this company, and assuming you're here for the next 15, 20 years, what will make it worth it? That was the question she asked. If you go, 15 years down the line, if you look back, what will make that journey worth it for you? And my answer was, if I have to spend 15 years in this company, then after, at that point in time, I better be the head of India, and that was the answer that came to mind. I was a 20-year-old something. I better be the head of India or head of South Asia in order for me to say it's been worth it. So it was about the role, the designation, etc., etc. You know what? Deborah, the lady who I'm referring to, she became a mentor as I joined Intel. And she ensured that I never forgot that. In fact, given the conversations I used to have with her, I actually wrote that down and I kept it in a drawer. And I would bring it out every time, because within Intel I spent 21 years, and 21 years, multiple roles. Every time I would change roles, I would bring out that chit of paper. And I would say, okay, the decision I'm taking right now, is it going to help me move towards this direction, or is it going to take me away from that direction? And it actually served me as a compass, so that it didn't take 15 years, but within 10 years, from a rookie graduate who had joined Intel, and by the way, not an engineer, one of the very few non-engineers who joined Intel, I became a vice president and came back to head South Asia in 10 years. So that's the power of having purpose, and purpose changes. When I came back to India, and I had achieved what I had set out to achieve, my purpose changed. My purpose was all about I was fascinated because I've spent most of my childhood outside India. So when I did come back, I was fascinated with the number of problems in India. And I was fascinated with the role of technology, that it was far bigger than what I had seen in US, UK, Singapore, etc., etc. Technology could change lives in this country. It could change livelihood in this country. So I started obsessing with how do you get technology really to the grassroots in this country. That became the purpose. What happened? When that becomes the purpose, you realize the job I'm doing, I love the company, I love all of that, it's great. But it's going to be very limited in terms of enabling me to do what I want to do. So again, that's where the mentors come in. Reach out to the mentors, say, this is what I want to do. This is my obsession. And the answer was, Debjani, then you need to get out of a company role, a country head role, and you need to look at something, whether in government or whatever else. And that's how NASSCOM happened. NASSCOM was the industry association. I was at that moment in time where I knew my purpose had changed. And therefore the career decision, and a wonderful career decision, was to get out of corporate, take over, join NASSCOM, take the leadership of NASSCOM, and build that association to really serve the purpose of taking technology to the grassroots in India. And then as the purpose continues to grow, right, the dream gets bigger and bigger. So earlier it was, how do you take technology to the grassroots? And then I started obsessing with, why can't India become a leader in technology, especially frontier technologies? I was obsessed with frontier technologies. What is going to happen with AI? Where will AI be in the next 10 years? What's going to happen with biology and AI coming together? This whole concept of programmable biology, what does it do? And the impact it can have on India. So the purpose started changing again. It got bigger in terms of making India a frontier tech leader. And I knew that while NASSCOM is a wonderful organization, again, there was only that much I could do in that role or not more. And that led me to move to a special project in government, where today in NITI Aayog, we are setting up India's first frontier technology think tank, which is looking at how do you get India ready in the next 10 years to lead some of the biggest tech shifts that's going to happen. And it's fascinating, right? And I'm sure in a few years my purpose might change again. But if I can ask you one thing today, which is, after all of this is over, after you've finished your celebrations, you're back in your room, you get a little time to think, please take a sheet of paper, write down, what will make this journey that you're embarking on worth it in 10 years? If you look back in 10 years, what will make it worth it? What will make you say that this has been worth it? And keep that paper, don't lose it, keep that paper, but keep revisiting it. Keep revisiting at least once a year, or revisit it every time you're making a career decision, when you're going for the higher salary or you're going for a better company. Is this aligned with that North Star that you have set for yourself? So the role of purpose is something I would definitely leave you with. And by the way, purpose doesn't just help you navigate your career, it helps you navigate your failures. And if you're good, you are going to have a lot of failures. In fact, I wish that you do have a lot of failures. Because what is failure? If you are good, you will not be happy with status quo. You will challenge status quo. You will take risks. And if you're taking risks, there's no way you're going to succeed every time. So I do wish that you do go through the lows and you do go through the failures, because that's where character gets built. And that's where having that North Star, having that purpose really, really helps. So do think about it a little bit. The third thing, which is my life mantra, which has now become my life mantra, but I would love to tell 20-year-old Debjani that, which is be comfortable with the uncomfortable. That is your life today. If there is one life hack you need to learn, that is your life today. You're all getting your degrees today, and congratulations for that. But the degree will tell the world that you are good at XYZ. That degree does nothing to tell the world what your relevance is. And that's a hard truth. That's a very bitter truth. But you need to know that, and you need to understand that from day one. The world you're entering is chaotic at its best. Whatever you know, whatever you have learned is going to change. It is going to change tomorrow, and there is no way any institute, no matter how good it is, can keep up with the change at the pace that it's happening. Why are we talking about AI all the time? The technology has existed since 1940s. So what changed? It's the pace of evolution. It's the pace of change in AI, which is becoming impossible for humans to keep up with. So everything that you have learned and what you think you are good at, suddenly tomorrow you'll be told that's not relevant anymore. And that's happening to all of us. None of us know in a few years whether my job, your job, whatever job you're going to get into is going to be relevant there or not. And that's the reality. But embrace it. Embrace it. Make discomfort your biggest ally, because you will go through a lot of uncomfortable phases. Because from those moments of uncertainty comes some of the biggest opportunities. One of the biggest advantages today, you, me, everyone on the dais, we are all on the same starting line. Because technology has completely disrupted the rules of competition. It doesn't matter anymore how much of experience you have. It doesn't matter which institute you've graduated from. The only thing that matters is how quickly can you unlearn and how quickly can you learn. And if I, after 30 years in the industry, can unlearn faster than you, can learn better than you, I'll be ahead in the game. If you, with zero experience, can learn better than me, can unlearn better than me, you are going to be ahead in the game. That's the new race. That's the rules of competition in this era of AI. So the good thing is, no one has a clear advantage anymore. Yes, we have experience, but if we use that experience as a baggage, it doesn't help. Yes, you do not have experience, but if you are able to learn faster than the rest of us, you have the advantage. So keep that in mind in terms of navigating your journey. It will get uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable. But in that discomfort lies some of the biggest opportunities to get ahead. In fact, I do remember that in Intel, appraisal after appraisal, I was told that I'm the person who runs into the house when it's burning down and everyone runs out. Why? Because, again, some brilliant mentor had told me that the best career decisions you can make, the best jobs you can find when you're looking for a change are those, he called it, he said, find the biggest cat pile. You know what a cat pile is, right? Find the biggest cat pile, and that's where you're going to have the biggest opportunity to make a difference. So I would go after opportunities where I was most uncomfortable, which scared me the most. Because in those opportunities was the highest opportunity to learn and to develop. So I would request you to do keep that in mind. Fourth, I think Professor Jhunjhunwala said this beautifully. Guard your integrity as your source code. It is your source code. Your job title, your designation, your name of your company will all come and will all go someday. Those will not stay forever. The only thing that stays with you is your reputation. It's your reputation, it's your integrity, it's what you stand for. And you know, we sometimes obsess with the accomplishments we have made. We sometimes obsess with how many people report into us. As you will get a little further in this journey, you'll realize leadership has nothing to do with any of those. Let's take your chairperson, Professor Jhunjhunwala. I have lost count of how many awards he's won. Padma Shri, Sarabhai Award. I mean, there are just so many out there. But what do we know him for? It's the impact he has created. His legacy is not his awards. His legacy is not his designations that he has had. And all of them are tremendously, we admire them tremendously. They're very important. But what's his legacy? I mean, I know him as someone who I would say started the deep tech revolution in India. He's the one, by setting up IIT Madras Research Park, showed India that we can aspire to dream really big in frontier technologies, in deep technologies, and he showed that we can build successful startups sitting out of India. So that's what we remember. We remember his legacy. We remember the impact that he has created. None of us will be remembered by the designations that we had or how many people. It's our reputation, it's our legacy that matters. So protect that. And last but not the least, I would say, it's not networks. Somehow, I've seen all young people ask these questions so often. I get complete strangers who don't know me from Eve coming and saying, "Can you be my mentor?" And I'm like, why? Because I want to have that list of mentors that will add to my network. Your networks are unfortunately pretty useless. What matters are the human relationships that you will build, the connects that you will build. You know, every success I have had today is because someone believed in me and someone said she can do it. And most of the time, these are mentors or sponsors that I have built, that I have connected with, that I have established relationships with. It takes a lot of work to invest in these relationships, but it's one of the most important things you will do. It's not just about collecting names and numbers. It's about getting to know people. It's about listening to people. It's about connecting to people who you think you can learn from. I remember when I was at that phase where my goals had changed and I was thinking of, how do we make India a frontier tech nation? I don't know if you remember, Professor Jhunjhunwala, but we had time at an airport. And we sat down in one little place over a cup of coffee. And we had 1 hour, I think, that we talked. That conversation changed my life. I knew where I was going. I had no more doubts. And huge thanks to him for taking that 1 hour to sit down with me and have the conversation. But those are the conversations that matter. It's the human to human connect. It's not about how many people are following you on LinkedIn or how many numbers you have. So these are, some of the things I would like to, I wish someone had told me when I was sitting there waiting to get my degree. I hope they land a little bit with you too, because these are the things that would make that entire journey. I've learned these, but I have learned these through experience. If I knew them right at start, I think it would have given me an upper hand. It would have given me a definite advantage. So, to the 20-year-old me and to all of you, first, I think you're more ready than you think to take on this world. My advice would be, or my ask would be, lead with gratitude, walk with purpose, say yes to things that scare you. That's where you'll find the biggest opportunities to make a difference. Stay true to who you are, and above all, be kind to yourself. So much happens and so much will happen in your lives. Beating yourself up for everything, that went wrong does not serve a purpose. Be kind. When things go wrong, they go wrong and you learn from those. Today I wear my failure as my battle scars. I'm proud of each and every one of them. And so will you, maybe in a few years or maybe in 10 years, 20 years. But don't beat yourself up too much for the failures. Remember, if you're good, you will fail. If you're not good, if you're mediocre, you will want to stay in your comfort zone, not get out and take on anything that's uncomfortable. You will play it very safe. You will not fail at all. But then you'll live your life in mediocrity. And I'm sure that's not what this institution has prepared you for. So class of 2025, the world you're walking into is complex, it's messy, it's chaotic, it's completely unpredictable. Don't even try to predict it. But it's full of possibilities. We are at that strategic inflection point where technology is pretty much changing the rules of industry, how we learn, how we play, how we live. It's changing lives. You can be the ones to build the future. You can be, we talk about Viksit Bharat, right? India developed in the next 20 odd years. You are going to be the ones who are going to be the citizens of Viksit Bharat. You have the opportunity to build that vision of a developed nation. It's in your hands. So walk with purpose. You're graduating from a wonderful institute, an institute that builds character, an institute that's founded in really, really strong values. So you have the smarts, you have the skills, and I think this institute has built the character and the spirit in you. So please go out there and make it count for yourself, for your family, and for your institute, and also for the nation. Thank you very much.